coaches, healers, cycle breakers, light workers that over give and under receive, this video is for you. Cycle breakers that want to follow their soul purpose, but the results that you get is you overgive, you do all of the work, all of the giving, but you just get back what feels like crumbs. And I know this so well. I've been on this healing journey, working on my purpose for 6 years, healing for over a decade. And I went from £12,000 in 1 year to £103,000 because I worked on this pattern of overgiving and under receiving. But in honesty, it won't just be showing up in your work or career or the business that you're trying to grow. It will be showing up elsewhere as well. So it will show up in your friendships. It will show up in the community that you're creating. It will show up in the clients that you're getting. It will show up in your romantic love. What I found was I did lots of healing to break this pattern with romantic love. So I was able to attract a soulmate and have a reciprocal relationship, somebody that gave as much as I did. For the first time in my life, did I have a balanced relationship with somebody. And I thought that that was it. But actually, this overgiving and under receiving continued to show up in every single relationship. In this video, I'm going to take you through how to clear this at the root at the 7 different levels that it's showing up for you right now. I deeply believe that if you are somebody that's called to the path of helping others and you want to live a soul aligned life, then I know that for you to desire to have the overflow of abundance, doing the work that you love in relationships that feel safe and nourishing, soulmates, you want that because you experience the opposite so badly in your childhood and in your life that you know what you don't want. And because of that, all of that pain that you went through as a child, that is why you have found this path. It's not for everyone. You found it because of that. And that's beautiful because that pain cracks you open to be like, I want to go and help people with this because I know how to fix this. I've just fixed this in myself and I want to go help people. I want to set up that yoga business or I want to set up that retreat business or whatever. I've had people over the years come with all of their big dreams for their career. And this is the thing that always stops them because they love the idea of giving to others, but it's not sustainable because the way that they are with money and the receiving of it is so dysfunctional because of that early start in life, because of that abuse, because receiving was so incredibly unsafe. So I talk about the nervous system a lot on this channel. I have a whole playlist on it. Do check that out. I will put the link here. Your nervous system is literally created from conception to 7 years old, and then other traumas as you got older will impact the vagal tone of the nervous system. So the very first thing when I work with clients is the nervous system level, because in fight, flight, fawn, then you are going to be going into those unconscious patterns from your childhood. And this is the place where lots of people get stuck. So what you're doing when you overgive and you under receive is you're massively in a fawn response. And this even came up for me the other day was I had an amazing friend over for the weekend and we hosted, so we like made food and we booked tickets to go to this park and it was so lovely, beautiful reciprocal relationship. And then on the Sunday, we went for a roast and her partner paid for it, which was so kind of him. Immediately, I felt sick. Behind the scenes, I was like, oh my God, they've spent, if I asked them for the money for this, they would have paid more than us. And I just felt so terrible about that. And what actually was being highlighted to me there was she wouldn't have cared, by the way. In my childhood, it was not safe for me to receive. If I received from anybody, it was likely to be thrown in my face or I would be attacked for it. So I never felt safe to have something from someone because it would come with more loss or more attack or something like that. So the nervous system learns very, very young. You are not consciously like, I must overgive, but you are doing it in some of the layers that we're going to talk about now. So this is why nervous system regulation and working on your vagal tone is absolutely the most essential thing that you can be doing, Because when you do that, you will start to unravel some of the patterns we're going to be talking about in the other layers. So that's like setting a timer every half an hour where you just come back into the present moment and into where you are, and you remind yourself that you're not in the past. Now, this is really important when you are doing things that weren't safe when you were a child. So if you are looking to attract your soulmate clients and soulmate money and soulmate partner and soul friends and all these things, it requires you to be more you than you've ever been. And that wouldn't have been safe as a child. So nervous system work and working with your inner child is, and not just your inner child, but other parts of you that what didn't feel safe to receive. So all the different, get a piece of paper and be like, of all the different ages, where didn't I feel safe to receive love, money, abundance, gifts, all of the things, right? And for me, that just wasn't. So I learned to be very hyper independent and like, get myself the things I needed. But I'd find it really hard to receive gifts back or more than what I gave because of somebody attacking me for it. Got to start to be conscious of, when am I doing this? Why am I doing this? There's a younger part of me here, and start to clean those things up. And that regulation throughout the day, it can be the same practice. Like I love a VU breath or a little sway or like a tapping. Or just looking out your window and bringing yourself into the present moment regularly through the day. It cannot happen enough where you're just like coming back into the present, coming back into the present. Hey, I'm not in the past, and actually it's safe for me to receive now. That's really essential. Number two is your emotional world. So, how does it feel when you receive something, when you receive a compliment, when you receive money, when you receive love? Does it feel safe? Does it feel good in the body, or are you contracting? For example, I've made like loads of money lots of times, and I would feel a lot of unsafety because I have the memories of my dad taking my money, for example. So you will have different memories of why receiving money, love, compliments, ease, all of these things don't feel safe to you. And you have to, on an emotional level, mother and father those parts of you. And this is not spiritual bypassing, it's actually just helping those parts of you to feel safe. In all of my programs, I always teach people how to mother and father their protective parts and their younger selves as well. So that could be a 5-year-old you, that could be a 22-year-old you, because it's an essential thing and it's going to come up all of the time. And if you continue to ignore that because you're like, yes, but I have to make money, which I've done myself and I've seen others do as well. If you are ignoring your emotional world, if you are bypassing those things, if you are bypassing your nervous system and going, no, but I'm fine, I just did a regulation technique, when you're not actually feeling regulated, you're not feeling present or safe, then you are betraying and abandoning yourself, just like you were as a child. You're like, no, this business or getting this relationship is more important than your basic needs of safety, of your emotional well-being. This is essential, okay? So that you work at that level and you write them down. And it's very deep, it's very unconscious. So that's why when you're doing the regulation on a regular basis, you're going to start to see some of the patterns. A lot of people are not good at this, and they're not good at going deep enough with this. You need to come to my week event. It's called Expansion Code. It's the first week of June. If you're watching this video after that, you can purchase it later so you can watch the replays. I'm going to show you how deeply you have to do this, okay? So if you're like, okay, well, I've done that and it's not worked. If you're still sitting around with shame around receiving, if you still feel bad if somebody gives to you, or if you are constantly hyper vigilant about your relationships or about money, then you still have work to do in that area. It has not been enough. You have not gone deep enough. I don't really feel like this industry goes deep enough. When you've had the level of shadow that I have had around relationships and love, you have no choice. And many of you watching this video have had that level of shadow, because that's what makes you a great giver. And that's what makes you great in service. And that's what makes you want to follow this path, which is absolutely so incredible. But you are so good at tending to somebody else's inner child or showing love for somebody else, and you are really quite crap at doing it back to yourself. So you got to get real. Many of you don't even feel safe enough to tend to those parts of you. So you need support, you need community. So come into Expansion Code for the week when we're doing it live. If then you can watch the replays, and I have a bigger program where we do this work for a year. I have a membership as well that supports this process in the earlier stages. If you're ignoring that nervous system safety because you're like, well, that's not going to get me money. No, because that creates your frequency, your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, they all create your frequency in your energetic field. And when you are not receiving what you are giving out and you are overextending, you are in a trauma response, so you're not a match for your soul aligned money or ease or clients or love or any of those things. Next one, mental. This is one we talk a lot about, right? But if you haven't done the nervous system work and you haven't done the emotional work, especially as a sensitive, intuitive being, feel a lot of people's emotions, your nervous system and your emotional world is going to be running the show way before your mental world gets involved. So mental isn't the first layer, it's actually like the third layer. So what we want you to do there is then you get aware. But if you've tended to your nervous system and you've tended to your emotions, your mind will get quieter. But if it isn't, this is an old belief system. This is an old paradigm of thinking that I can only have just enough, or I can only have just get my bills paid and I cannot have more. That's not true. There is like a tap of abundance that you can unlock by being your true self. And mind needs data to be able to change. So a lot of times the mind will not believe what you're saying. But if you continue to, let's just say you want to be a YouTube creator. For you to believe that you're a successful YouTube creator, you've got to create YouTube videos, right? You have to start doing that process, and you have to believe that you're good at it, and you have to believe that you're going to master it, and you're going to have to be open to learning about it. And that's all mental, kind of masculine kind of energy. It's like monitoring those thoughts and hearing them. And sometimes there'll be a younger version of you. Sometimes that's just a habitual thought pattern that, oh, well, I do so much and I don't get the money back, or I don't get the love back. But that is a victim response. That is a younger version of you. That is the powerless version of you. That is the wounded version of you. The one that's trapped in a drama triangle, that's like the persecutor money or persecutor the world, and it's not feeling safe. When actually you have the power. You are creating your reality right now with your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. So aligning those mental thoughts to, I am now in a season of my life where I'm fully safe to fully receive. That was somebody from my past. That is not the case anymore. In my past, it absolutely was not safe for me to receive. So I learned a great skill to be hyper vigilant, to use my empath skills, to tune in to everybody around me, to be able to figure out what they wanted. That made me very good at helping everybody else, but abandoning and betraying myself. And that is what we're trying to clean up at every single layer. The body. Why do so many light workers, cycle breakers, givers, empaths, all of these people have autoimmune? The autoimmune, your bank account, will show you how much you have overextended. This is a journey I'm still cleaning up, right? Because I overextended for so much of my life that I had autoimmune, I had fertility issues, I had hormone issues, I had weight issues, because I gave so much to my business, to my relationships in my life. I did not feel safe to have it back. And that actually, the minute something came back, I would just drop it away. I'd be like, oh, I can't. I'll spend that money quickly. I didn't set up my business in a way, even though I had huge successes and made lots of money, I didn't set up my business in a way where it would take care of me on a consistent basis. It took great care of other people, but not myself. So that self-betrayal and abandonment, the routines and the structures around me and around my life were not supportive of giving back to me. They were very good at giving to other people, but not giving back to me. So that's why the body starts to show disease. That's why the body starts to have so much anxiety. That's why you don't sleep. That's why you're anxious all the time. So it's creating routines and structures where you don't abandon or betray to do the thing that you love, to go and help the people, that you have to be an overflowing cup in order to give to them, and that you have to set up and create a life that makes you feel safe, that makes you feel fully nourished, that makes you feel present, and that your body actually feels like it's being taken care of. A lot of us, me included, find this very challenging because it was so unsafe to take care of yourself as a kid. It was so unsafe to take care of your needs. Weight can be a protection for the people around you. Showing your body, hey, it's actually safe now to let go of this weight, and it's actually safe to be fully taken care of and to take care of your needs and to take care of your health. And I don't need to numb myself with sugar or addictions and things like that. So that's the body level. It's like being very honest with yourself. Where is the overgiving to others and where am I under receiving to myself? So if you want the universe to nourish you, are you nourished physically with your food? Are you hydrated? Are you regulated? Are you emotionally taken care of? Autoimmune goes away because you're taking care of yourself. Do you know that? It's like your love, you're pouring back into yourself. So in your day, how much love are you pouring back into yourself, into your body? It's essential. If you want the universe to pour love back to you, then you've got to show it that you give love to yourself and correct that balance. The more you correct that balance, the more you prize yourself, not as something to fix, not something that's out of fear, not because you're broken, but it comes from the energy of love. Everything that I'm talking about on these levels, you take care of these things from an energy of love, not from fix, not from survival, not because you're broken. It's a different energy. That's really important, okay, as part of shifting this frequency. Relationships. Write them down. All the relationships in your life, your family, your friendships, your community, your clients, and be honest with yourself. Where are you overextending in those relationships and make them balanced? Until you have an overflowing cup, you don't have overflowing energy to give to them. So sort that out. Make them reciprocal. Have boundaries. Remove relationships. This can be a time where you lose a lot of people because dynamic doesn't help you feel safe to be yourself, to fully receive. Can you receive of these people? Do they give to you in your darkest times? I realized, no, they do not. I kept going back in a loop of like, why do I keep eating crap? Because I'm in relationships that make me feel unsafe. So I'm going back to a protective behavior because I don't feel safe. I need safe people to feel safe, to receive their gifts and to see that and experience it. I have the most amazing husband and he's such a great gift buyer. And at the beginning, I found that really hard. And then I began to like really love it. And he shows me love with his giving, his generosity, just like I do. But I found that really hard. I felt like he's going to attack me. I'm going to lose him or something bad's going to happen because he's giving me so much. And it put me into like a freeze response. So it's not just taking away the bad or making it healthy. It's actually really allowing yourself to truly taste and receive the relationships that do give back to you. And all the beautiful ways that life is giving to you all the time with a sunset, with a beautiful meal, with a hot drink, a special moment, and allowing yourself to receive and taste life and joy and play and all these things. Relationship to people, to the present, to your own body, to life itself, that's essential. Your financial level. So your financial level is another level. Financial level is another way that this shows up. So when you overgive and under receive, this can look like debt. This can look like living paycheck to paycheck. And it can feel frustrating and feel shameful and it's not enough. It's really about here, a bit like the body. This isn't sufficient. Changing your bare minimum, right? A lot of people that have been in this pattern of overgiving and under receiving, their bare minimum for relationships, for money, for their health, all these things for themselves is so low. It's like, if I can just pay my bills, even though what you really, really want is to have extra for holidays and personal development and saving pots and a monthly income of a certain amount. But that isn't your bare minimum. That is like, oh, that's for the version of me that's fully healed and amazing. I want you to make that your bare minimum. So I want you to start to do the work that is like, this is now my bare minimum standard. My bare minimum standard forever was like, I just need to pay these bills. Even when I first started in my business and I used to help people with money, people were so obsessed with safety because it's ego. But when you focus on safety and you focus on having just enough for bills, that is what you're going to create every single time. I've done it myself millions of times. I've seen clients do it as well. When you're obsessed with that number, you'll just keep getting that number. But every step I'm taking today, every thought, every feeling, every action I take is creating this new bare minimum, which is whatever X amount is. With the financial side as well, it's not just about the money coming in, it's being able to hold the money and allow it to nourish you. That's the other thing. We can have resistance to that because that wasn't safe. It's like being married to your soulmate compared to just going on a shitty date. Like for a lot of nervous systems where it wasn't safe to receive, falling in love is really hard. Not gonna lie, it is. When you have disorganized attachment, I know it certainly was for me. Having good is hard. Having good is unfamiliar. So holding money, having it come and support you every single month, having more than just enough, it can feel very unsafe. It can go back to that nervous system layer. It can go back to that protective part in a child layer. So you want to get really clear about what your new bare minimum is, and also what you're going to do to step up your energy to be more soul aligned. All of these things I'm talking about is going to raise your vibration anyway. Like I said, come to the expansion code. Your soul, she or he, knows how to make you more than enough money, how to get you to your soulmate. You have literally a navigation system within you. And if you follow your intuition, it's going to guide you there. But it's all the crap inside, all the survival programs, all the childhood trauma, all the ancestral trauma, all of the past shite that basically blocks people's channel to their navigation system, which is to the divine. And so expansion code the first week of June, or if you're getting the replay, is going to help you at a chakra base level to clear the crap, because that's what you need to hear to be able to create more. There is a way to make money on this planet, which takes a lot of hustling, a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, affects your health. And there is a way to make money that is really easeful because you are so in the flow, you are taking care of your body, you are listening to your intuition, your soul is guiding you, and it's so different to being in that energy. I've done both, and I can tell you the easy one is so much nicer. It's the same as like when you fall in love with a soulmate compared to when you date a trauma bond. They're both relationships that one's very, very toxic and one isn't. So that means we need to have a better relationship with money. So we need to know our situation, know if we're in debt, know what our plan is with it, our debt clearing plan, our saving plan, and kind of going, okay, this is my bare minimum to sort this situation out and be somebody that has the overflow. And not to shame ourselves for it and go, like, this just shows the energy of somebody that has overgiven their whole lives, and it doesn't mean anything. And I'm no longer going to be somebody that's in survival, that overgives and under receives, because that's what my relational blueprint is. I am going to not be that person. So my bank account and my health and my frequency and all these things are going to change because I'm going to think, feel, and act from a higher frequency. When you take care of your emotions, when you take care of your body, when you take care of your nervous system, when you follow your soul steps, all these things are going to help you. And just like I said, come to expansion code. It's just £11 for a week because I'm crazy. Right now it is that much. It is very likely to go up very soon. It depends when you're seeing this video. Back to the financial level. The other thing is you can over deliver. If you can overwork, you can undercharge, I've done all of these things because I'm like, oh my God, but I need my needs to be met. I need that bill to be paid. I'm so focused on that bill. I'm going to overgive over here because I need to pay that bill. That's not the vibe. So it's like, no, this is my money. This is how much I charge. This is what I'm doing. And this is what I'm going to receive back. Lots of people will stay in crappy jobs that don't pay them well. I hear people say this to me all of the time. I say this with so much love when someone's like, well, I have this job and it just pays me this much. It's like, if that job isn't right for you, if it's not paying you enough, then you need to do some inner work to connect to your soul to lead you and guide you to the amount of money you actually need. Or if it's in a different company or if it's in a different country, I don't know. Your soul will know. So you are not powerless to your situation. Over the years, I've had so many people say those things to me, but I just don't earn enough. You are a creator. You think that's okay right now. That is your current bare minimum, that you're just like, I just want to pay my bills, even though it frustrates the crap out of you and it makes you feel unsupported and unsafe. You are the creator. You are your mum and dad. You can change that. And being very honest with yourself, and not in a shameful way. Even as I'm saying this to you, it's almost tough love. You can have more, right? You can have more. It's inside of you. It's possible. You're accepting this current reality. If you start to change the way you do all the things that we're talking about here, and you clear those chakra blocks, you are going to earn more money. It's going to happen because everybody, if you believe it's safe and you are worthy and you take the action aligned with it, it's going to come. 7 is just like your core frequency energy. So are you coming from a victim mindset? Are you coming from an abundance mindset? What is your emotion that you are mostly in? So if you are in shame a lot, or if you are in anxiety a lot, just recognizing that is your core frequency of energy. If your life force is so much about pouring to others and not pouring to yourself, then you have to work on building the muscle to pour into you, because so you pour out and you pour in. So you give it all, you replenish, and then you go give again. You don't give from an empty cup. So it's shifting that blueprint that's in your energetic system. The way that I would do this with a client is I'd be like, how do you want to feel when you've got all that abundance? How do you want to feel? And I might say, I want to feel love and joy. But when throughout their day, when they're looking at their money, when they're looking at their work, when they're looking at their soul purpose, they're feeling shame. So that's the dominant vibration, is shame. So then we have to do shadow work to younger parts, the protective parts that have been born to support you, to keep you alive, to keep you in that family that you were born into. And we go a lot deeper into this in expansion code, which is that week process, and even deeper into my year program, Overflow, because there will be so many things. Like we're talking about one here, which is the overgiver and under receiver. So I've got a little bit of a task for you today, or this week, is I want you to just observe how you're doing this, where this is showing up. Oh, I'm doing this with how I'm charging people, or I'm doing this with my partner because I don't feel safe when he gives to me, or I'm doing this at work, or the way I'm feeding my body, or the way that I'm ignoring that that's not enough money for me. Observing all of those behaviors, all of those standards that you have for yourself, where you're like, it's okay for me to get less than I give to other people. So you want to really observe that and then start to not do it. You absolutely will have to regulate your nervous system while you're doing this, because it will not feel safe, because it will feel scary to take care of yourself better, to say no, to set boundaries, to leave relationships. These things will feel scary, which is why you need community and you need support, which is why people cannot do this on their own, which is why people struggle when they're in the wrong spaces, where people are focusing on what you need to do rather than the frequency behind the doing, which is the being. And the being is, I'm currently an overgiver and under receiver, and that doesn't work for me. So I need to be super aware of where I'm doing this in my business, in my life, and clean it up. Some of the ways, just as I wrap this up, I'm going to give you some of the ways I've done this, right? I wouldn't do my workout. So I was doing a certain level of self-care that I'd done prior to being an entrepreneur, but it wasn't enough for how much I was giving to other people. I wasn't making sure my foods were nourishing me. I wasn't taking my vitamins. I wasn't making sure I exercised or walked. I would be like, I've got to give to my clients. I've got to like give all the time. I wasn't allowing myself to play. I wasn't allowing myself to have pleasure. I wasn't allowing myself to be present and enjoy the moment. I wasn't allowing myself to feel safe in the moment. I was in so many relationships that gave me nothing. And I was frustrated and annoyed with those people, but I carried on those relationships. I spent money very, very quickly, didn't stick to a budget. This was a kind of a childhood pattern where I was so used to not feeling safe in the present that I just lived to be okay in the moment. And I didn't really take care of future me, like future me's finances, future me's body. Like I didn't take care of those things. And again, it didn't ever feel safe to, because I was in such a survival mode my whole life, because I had to be for like decades. Even when like my abuser, who was my dad, passed away, I had still so many abusive relationships because it was so freaking normal. It was so normal for me to be in chaos. It was so normal for me to live in fear and anxiety. So my money had to, and my body had to do that for me, so I could keep that feeling, that familiar feeling of chaos alive. So this is ways that it shows up. Spending my money really, really quickly, undercharging. When I was in jobs where I got paid a salary, it was the same. No matter how much money I was getting, it would never be enough, because I would always be spending more. So I wouldn't be following a budget, because the budget would feel controlling, and like there was like a rebellious streak in me. I'm going to do another video on powered parts of us, that where we became an individual, how they actually block us from having true abundance. So these kind of things stopped me from having the level of abundance and overflow that I truly wanted, because it was the way I was still holding on to my past. So let's make a decision, guys, that you are going to say, this is my bare minimum. And I'm going to clear all the energetic blocks. I'm going to embody someone that is balanced and reciprocal in her relationships, is ensuring she has an overflowing cup to be able to give to others, that is the priority. That is essential. And come to the week's expansion code. Just comment expansion code and I'll send you the details, because this is where we are going to get a little deeper into, we're going to do practices to help you clear these blocks within you, because you are not doing this consciously. It's very unconscious. So it will be root. It's not safe for me to receive. It's just not safe. Sacral, I'm not worthy. I'm not allowed to have it. I'm not enough. Then the power, which is solar plexus, I can't. A self-belief, a lack of self-trust that I can do it. The heart, there's a wall around the heart that stops it from receiving because it was so painful. The throat, I can't express myself truly, otherwise somebody will hurt me. Those things are all stopping you right now. So when we clear those things and you're in a supportive environment, you're in a supportive community, that's what can crack this for you. So I hope this video helped. Let me know in the comments how overgiving and under receiving has shown up in your reality, and tell me what you're shifting your bare minimum to. I'd love to hear from you in there. And come and join us in Expansion Code to support you with this. You are not alone. This is a very common pattern for light workers, coaches, and healers. And you are so worthy of having more than enough and it coming easily, because it's just you being who you are, because you're truly letting go of this trauma pattern.